Good evening and welcome to Connecting Point. I'm Jim Madigan. The thought of a gunman entering your child's school is horrifying, but it's happened in Newtown, Connecticut and elsewhere, and it's a reality school administrators everywhere have to prepare for. A lockdown is a key approach used in many places. Locally in the town of Ludlow, they've adopted a safety model known as A.L.I.C.E, or A.L.I.C.E training. It emphasizes evacuation and what's called countering as a last resort to distract rather than confront a shooter, reducing their ability to kill. Connecting Point correspondent Carolee McGrath talked with Ludlow School Superintendent Todd Gazda and Ludlow Police Lieutenant Michael Brennan to learn more.
A.L.I.C.E is an acronym, and basically it stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. And what it is, it's in a response options system. So think of the acronym, but it's and how it's basically trained is not in that linear fashion. So if you think about an intruder situation, you could go right to the E in the A.L.I.C.E, so evacuation. So it's a response option. It's something that's greater than what is traditional lockdown that has been traditionally taught in most schools throughout the country.
So as superintendent, this is something you never want to think about. Parents don't want to think about this, but this
the nightmare scenario.
It's a terrible thing to even be talking about right now. But this is something you have to, plan for in one of those situations. Why did you feel that this was the right training program for Ludlow?
It's unfortunate that this is the world we live in today, where these things happen, and schools have to prepare both our staff and our students should the unthinkable happen. And so when we were looking at how we responded or had trained to respond to these situations, we felt that it came up short. And so we looked for a system that would give us something that would build a little bit more discretion for teachers in how to respond given the variables in any situation. And this was a program that we found that seemed to meet the needs of our schools, so that teachers, as we go through this training, it builds their awareness and it also builds their confidence that should a situation like this arise, that they will have the skills and training to take the necessary action to ensure the safety of our students.
So this breaks from, as you had mentioned, the traditional lockdown scenario or shelter in place. And a lot of people would say, no, you want to stay there, you want to keep them quiet and get into a hiding place. But this is not what this is about. This says run, doesn't it?
Correct. The traditional model, which is kind of has its origins in, duck and cover, going back all the way maybe to the 50s. And then, so lockdown seemed like the natural sort of alternative to that. And yeah, it's great to command and control and keep people in accountability of folks. However, it's lacking in when there's an actual emergency and you have an intruder in the building. It also makes it very easy for that intruder to engage innocent people. So if you think of an intruder entering a school over by the office, and you have students over maybe by a gym or in a classroom in a far-off wing, they can much easily evacuate and get out and be away from the danger minutes before that intruder could even get to them.
And that has to be an uncomfortable thought for the teachers, though, who for so long probably thought, okay, we're going to lock the door. I mean, is there anything about barricading the door? Or
it all plays into it. It's all given the situation. And with regards to comfort, to some extent, it's alleviated some of the discomfort. I mean, it's never a nice situation to think about. But now they're being told, in the past they were being told, you lock down, shut out the lights, sit quietly in that room. At times, that may have built some anxiety because they recognize, listen, I have an outside door. I can immediately evacuate, yet I'm being told to do this. So giving them the discretion and empowering them to respond appropriately and fall back on the training that they've received really helps to alleviate some of that anxiety. You can never alleviate it completely during a situation, obviously, but it really helps to empower the teachers and how they can respond.
One of the interesting things that I saw about the training was what was called counter, which is different than fighting, but how do you counter an intruder who is making his way through the building.
Right. I think a lot of people draw that direct association to fighting, but counter can be a lot of things. I mean, the fact that you're evacuating is a bit of a counter, correct? So,
Because it causes confusion?
correct. It does cause confusion, but it also you're getting completely out of the area. The second thing was you mentioned before barricading. That's a counter. So if you're, the ability to close and lock the door and then barricade that door even further, hiding out of sight, that's if you can't get out kind of thing. If you're too close to the danger and you can't exit into a hallway, then maybe you should be barricading instead of just simply locking down and staying quiet. So, get to the door and lock that and secure it as much as time. Buy yourself minutes before the police can get there.
Right, and would that also be involving noise, making noise, or things over the loudspeaker?
Correct. Any sort of distraction technique could be a counter.
How did the training go? I know you had one recently at the school. How did the kids do, and how did the teachers do?
It's gotten to the point where, it runs rather smoothly. We've been doing this now for this is the 5th year.
Yes, so I think when we first rolled it out, that was right.
So, our students have gone through these drills, which we do every single year, and we do it in cooperation with the police department so that they are involved in each of our drills, and they go smoothly at this point. We are able to take the necessary actions. The students and staff respond to the given situation or scenario, and then, we bring everybody back together. And one component of it that they always do, particularly at the building level, is debrief afterwards and talk about how the drill went and are there any areas that they need to refine a little bit more.
Why is this so important for school systems and even workplaces to be ready for this? Because as police, I know you guys are going as fast as you can. And if you look at Newtown, that response time was about 2 minutes and 40 seconds after that came over the radio. That's pretty quick in a rural town.
Sure.
But 2 minutes, a lot can happen in 2 minutes. Why is this so important?
Right. So 2 minutes is a lifetime, right? If you're in the danger area, right? So. In terms of that, you want to be able to react as fast as you can. If you're not trained, you may freeze, not knowing what to do if you haven't pre-planned and figured, what would I do in case of emergency? So part of this training is to get people thinking, getting people situationally aware with their exits, what to do. If X were to happen, I would do this. And you can do only so much with that, of course, but at least you have some planning. So when a situation does come, you won't simply freeze up. And this is something that can be carried beyond the school system. When you look at the Virginia Tech situation, something happened at a college, and those students so many of them had locked down. Some of them did evacuate, and some of them did barricade. But you generally, in crisis situations, they say you will fall back on your training, and if you haven't trained, you may freeze.
And at the very least, you're buying time until
Correct.
the police get there.
Right.
And it really does. It changes the way you look at things, just in general. Having gone through the training, when I go into a movie theater, I immediately identify where the exits are. I am immediately aware of my surroundings and those around me. Same with at a mall or a church. These are unfortunately targets now, and it's not that we want to build fear or anxiety, but a situational awareness, just allows you to be aware of your environment and ready should something happen. So it doesn't build fear; it builds understanding.
It's a tough topic, but we really appreciate both of you coming in here to talk about this today. Thank you.
You're welcome.